Today we are back with yet another custom lightsaber design video for Jedi Survivor, and unlike all of the previous videos in the series, today I'm actually going to be going through and trying my best to recreate some already canon lightsabers. This is not an easy task because obviously there are only so many parts we can actually use, and not all of them look identical to different elements of each lightsaber within the canon set of lightsaber hilts, but it's a fun little challenge nonetheless, and I'm going to be doing my best to do 5 canon lightsabers in Jedi Survivor. All of these ones are from pretty well-known characters within Star Wars, but definitely leave some comments with your recommendations down below. I can definitely try some more like Legends characters or some more, smaller niche characters within canon. So as always, be sure to leave your recommendations down in the comments. So the first lightsaber design that we have here is my favorite character in Star Wars, and that is Darth Vader. Now, obviously just keep in mind, all of these except for one of them are going to be just the single blade, and therefore there's not that much point showing like the crossguard and the dual wield and stuff like that, because obviously there's nothing really to base those off. So I'm pretty much just going to show like the single blade for all of these, except for a special one at the end that is actually a double blade. This one is relatively close to Darth Vader's lightsaber. It's not really identical, but obviously none of these are going to be identical. And the other thing that's worth noting is that some of these do involve pre-order bonus actual lightsaber components. So I know not everyone's going to be able to use those, because if you didn't pre-order you can't use them, but I am just trying to get them as close as I possibly can. And so if they do involve those pre-order bonuses, then I will just use them. So just be sure to keep that in mind. Now, as for the components you'll need to build this recreation of Darth Vader's lightsaber, the emitter is the Harmony emitter. For the switch, we've got the Patience switch, the Rebel Hero grip, and the Patience pommel. Now, as for the materials for the primary, we have got the silver alloy there that is in the light metal material tab. For the secondary, we have got the Imperial Plastoid Black, and I'm fairly sure for the other two, for the other two, we have got the exact same one. So there's literally only 2 materials here. For the condition, I've got it pristine because Vader's lightsaber was very clean when it comes to its condition, so I've kept this one as pristine. So that right there is a recreation, or at least my best attempt at a recreation of Vader's lightsaber. Give it a crack and definitely let me know in the comments as well if there's anything you guys would change for yourself. Now, the next lightsaber recreation is by far the hardest I've done so far, because it is actually really hard to get anything that looks very similar at all to this one, and this is the Ahsoka Clone Wars lightsabers. Now, obviously this is also a dual wield, so I've done my best to try and recreate both sides of this. I won't lie, I'm not overly happy with how it's coming out, simply because there's just not any components that suit the actual look of Ahsoka's sabers, but this has easily been the most highly requested one on the channel, so I thought I would give it a crack nonetheless. Now, in terms of the components you'll need for this one, you'll need the Duelist emitter, the Serenity switch, the Santari Kree grip, the Jaro Tapal pommel. Now, just keep in mind also for the pommel, this one actually looks more similar to Ahsoka's in the shape, but it looks way too big for me personally. When you actually put it on like that, it looks a little bit stupid if you ask me, in terms of trying to recreate Ahsoka's sabers anyway. So I've seen a lot of people try and recreate it with this. I think it looks way too big compared to the rest of the saber, so I've just gone with Jaro Tapal's just because it kind of blends in a bit more nicely. And then for the other side, I've just pretty much copied that, so the Santari Kree grip again, the Serenity switch, and the Duelist emitter. As for the materials, this is literally just light metal for every single one except for the accent, which is the Plastoid Black, and then the condition is once again pristine. Like I said, this one is definitely very difficult, and to be honest, it doesn't even look remotely similar to Ahsoka's sabers, other than just the fact that it is all silver and it's a fairly like clean and minimalistic look. But it's the closest I could get it. If you guys have any better recommendations how to build Ahsoka sabers, definitely let me know down in the comments, and I can always give it another crack in a future video. Now, next up we have yet another very highly requested lightsaber build here. This is based off of Mace Windu's, and this is probably so far the most happy I am with any of the recreations. This one is fairly similar, obviously not perfect, but straight away looking at it you can tell it's meant to be Mace Windu's lightsaber. Now, for the components for this one, you'll need the Santari Kree emitter. Now, the first thing I wanted to mention is that on the actual canon lightsaber for Mace Windu, the colors are actually switched. So the little, like the tip there, that's actually gold, and then the, I guess, body of the emitter is silver. And I tried switching the materials, I'll get to that later, but unfortunately it makes the rest of the saber not really work. So that's the only real issue I have with this one, is that these colors are actually switched, but it is the closest we can get to this anyway. Now, as for the switch, we've got the Harmony switch, then have the Rebel Hero grip once again, and then the Eno Cordova pommel. As for the materials, the primary is once again that silver alloy. The secondary is the electrum plated gold. The accent is once again the silver alloy, and then the grip is the Imperial Plastoid Black. And once again, as with all of these sabers so far, and I think all of these will end up being this, the condition is pristine. All of the sabers I'm going through, the ones that we see in terms of the actual sabers in canon, and the one, you know, even the replica lightsabers you can buy, for example, they're all pristine condition. None of them are actually like scuffed up or anything like that. So that right there is Mace Windu's lightsaber. Like I said, it's not really perfect, and none of these are going to be perfect, but this is probably the one that I'm the most happy with so far, just in the fact that, like I said, you can pretty much tell straight away this is meant to be Mace Windu's. Now, the next lightsaber on the list is Luke Skywalker's, the famous green lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. This one really annoys me because it's actually so similar, yet the switch and the grip should actually be flipped over. So the sort of black and silver rings there, they should be pretty much up where the switch part is, and then it's more silver at the bottom. So it kind of annoys me. It's as close as I could get it to being a recreation of that saber, but the rest of it looks pretty similar. And yeah, you can clearly tell this one is meant to be based off of Luke, so I guess that's all we can really ask for at the end of the day. Now, for the components for this one, you'll need the Eno Cordova emitter, the Jara Tapal switch, the Eno Cordova grip once again, and then the Patience pommel. As for the materials for this one, the primary is that silver alloy that we've pretty much been going for most of the sabers. For the secondary, we have got the bronzium here. Can also go with, in the unique metal, the osmiridium. It's kind of like the actual saber is pretty much a mix of these two different tones, so neither of them is really super accurate, but I think the bronzium here looks a little bit better, so I went with that one. For the accent, I went once again with the silver alloy, and then the grip, I've actually gone with the edge-worn iron. That's what gives that the rings. If you see here, it's actually just regular grip and it doesn't actually have the rings on it. But when you put the edge-worn iron, it looks like the rings from Luke's actual saber. So that one is for the grip. Like I said, it's really frustrating because that grip is in the wrong spot. It's pretty much, if you flip the bottom of the saber, then it would actually look almost identical to Luke's saber, which would be pretty cool. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a way. I've been sitting here for literally like 45 minutes just trying a bunch of different combinations. I just haven't been able to find a better looking saber. So if you guys have found a better way to do this, definitely let me know down in the comment section. But as far as what I could come up with, this was the best that I could get for Luke's lightsaber. Now, the last one that we have here is the iconic Darth Maul double-bladed lightsaber from the Phantom Menace. This one is very, very basic, and unfortunately you can't get those like red buttons anywhere near the middle of the lightsaber, which is a bit of a bummer because otherwise it would actually look pretty damn similar to the actual canon lightsaber. So yeah, once again, this is not obviously perfect, but it is as close as I could get it. So for the components for this one, you'll need the Temperance emitter, you'll need the Hermit switch, the Santari Khri grip, the Santari Khri pommel, and then obviously on the other side, it is completely identical. So Santari Khri grip once again, the Hermit switch, and the Temperance emitter. As for the materials for this one, unlike the others, I've actually gone with the metal alloy. This is pretty much the first skin or the first material that you guys unlock. That is the primary. For the secondary, we've got the exact same one. For the accent, we have got the exact same one once again, and then for the grip, I've got the exact same metal alloy once again. For the condition though, instead of being pristine, I've actually gone for well kept. I feel like it kind of gives it more of a bit of a matte look, which is a bit more realistic to Maul's saber because his wasn't quite as shiny as most others. So I've actually gone with well kept. You can even go with worn and it still looks pretty good, but I actually think the well kept looks the best of the bunch. And so that right there is my best recreation of Darth Maul's iconic double-bladed saber. Those red and silver buttons from the Hermit switch there, if you could get those in the middle where pretty much the grip is and have one more on each side, this would be really damn close to the actual, you know, canon lightsaber. So kind of the same as the Luke lightsaber. This one is almost a little bit frustrating that it's close but not close enough. And so yeah, again, if you guys have got any better recommendations, be sure to let me know down in the comment section. But in terms of what I could come up with, this was as close as I could get it to that canon saber. So that is it for the lightsaber recreations in Jedi Survivor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys like some of these enough to actually try them yourselves. And like I said, be sure to leave some recommendations down in the comments for some more characters you want to see. The next episode I do will probably be once again back to like the completely customized designs, but eventually I will do another like recreating episode where I'm recreating already canon or even Legends lightsabers as well. So leave those recommendations down in the comments. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day and may the force be with you always.